Hello, this is Dodie from Deliberate Aging. Welcome to my podcast. The May 28th issue of Vogue magazine contained an article on a diet they called the Glute diet. And it's become a much talked about way of eating, especially since it's summer in the US and people are anticipating trips to beaches where their glutes will be on full display. But when I first heard the phrase glute diet, I couldn't help but laugh a little bit. Because let's be honest, the idea that we can eat our way to shapelier glutes sounds about as plausible as spot-reducing belly fat by doing 1,000 crunches a day. We've been told for years you can't choose where your body stores or sheds fat, so why should your glutes be any different? But as I dug deeper, I realized the name might be a bit misleading and perhaps even brilliantly strategic. It's not about some magical food that targets your backside. Rather, the Glute diet is a nutritional support system designed to enhance your fitness efforts, especially if your goal is a stronger, more lifted derriere. And we can't talk about body transformation without confronting one core truth. You cannot out-exercise a bad diet. Now, diet is 80% of the equation. And this principle has become something of a mantra in wellness circles, and it's largely backed by science. According to Women's Health, up to 80% of our health outcomes, from body composition to energy levels, are linked to what we eat. Exercise is powerful, no doubt, but if your plate is full of nutrient-deficient foods, even the best workout plan won't get you very far. Now, the Glute diet isn't a miracle, but it is a thoughtful nutritional strategy. It emphasizes a balance of high-quality proteins like turkey, salmon, and eggs, healthy fats such as avocado, olive oil, and nuts, smart carbs such as quinoa, sweet potato, and berries, and key micronutrients such as magnesium, potassium, and zinc. Now, these support everything from muscle repair to collagen production, which matters more than you might think. Both Vogue and Women's Health highlight an interesting feature of this diet: its focus on skin firmness. Now, that's not typically front and center in muscle building conversations, yet it matters. Collagen-rich foods like bone broth or marine collagen supplements may help reduce skin sagging and enhance tone, especially in areas like the glutes where fat and muscle meet. Think of it as a 360-degree approach, not just growing your glutes, but sculpting and smoothing them too. Now, this plan champions water like it's an elixir, and rightfully so. Proper hydration helps reduce bloating and water retention, a common complaint, especially around the hips and thighs. It also aids in digestion and delivers nutrients where they're needed most. Now, there is a list of no-go foods, and that's no surprise. Things such as processed meats, refined sugars, alcohol, and carbonated beverages are all to be avoided because these contribute to inflammation, they spike your blood sugar, and hinder recovery, the trifecta of glute growth sabotage. But can you really build glutes on a diet? Now, here's where it gets tricky. Building muscle requires fuel, not just protein, but carbs too. If you're eating at a calorie deficit, meaning you burn more calories than you consume, your body doesn't have enough to build anything. You may lose fat, sure, but adding mass, that won't happen unless your body is in an anabolic or muscle-building state. As Vogue rightly points out, this is where the Glute diet feels a bit contradictory. Many of its sample meal plans hover just below maintenance calorie level. Good for toning, but not so great for growth. And if you're serious about developing those muscles, especially through resistance training, you'll need to eat in a slight surplus and prioritize post-workout nutrition. So nutrition is the engine behind every squat, thrust, and deadlift. But you don't need a boring diet to see progress. A glute-focused meal plan should be satisfying, nutrient dense, and support both performance and recovery. So a daily macro breakdown example for an active female who normally should be getting 2,000 to 2,200 calories per day would be approximately protein 100 to 130 grams to fuel muscle repair and growth, fats 60 to 70 grams for hormone health and joint support, carbohydrates 200 to 250 grams for glycogen and energy. A sample diet would include, for breakfast, scrambled eggs with spinach and feta, whole grain toast with avocado, and fresh strawberries. Lunch could be grilled salmon or tofu, quinoa tossed with roasted veggies and olive oil, and mixed greens with a lemon vinaigrette. For a snack, you could have Greek yogurt with walnuts and blueberries, or a banana. And for dinner, turkey meatballs over lentil pasta with some sautéed vegetables such as broccoli and mushrooms, and bone broth with turmeric and ginger. And then an optional post-workout snack would be a whey protein shake with frozen cherries, oats, and almond butter. And of course, hydration, at least 2.5 liters of water daily, especially around the time of the workouts. So now let's talk about some of the myths surrounding this diet and just bust them. Some of the noise floating around is that, number one, eating protein builds glutes even without exercise. That's wrong. In reality, muscle growth requires progressive overload, also known as strength training. Nutrition supports it, but it doesn't substitute for it. Myth number two, low carb equals leaner and faster. Nope. The reality is that your glutes are big, powerful muscles. They rely on glycogen or stored carbohydrates for fuel. Going too low on carbs can stall strength gains and make training feel harder. Myth number three, you can detox your way to toned glutes. Not true. In reality, the liver and kidneys already detox your body. Juices and slim teas don't sculpt your booty. Lifting weights and eating well do. Myth number four, women shouldn't lift heavy. That's so wrong. Heavier weights with proper form build muscle density and boost metabolism without making you bulky. So there are specific strength training exercises to do to build your booty. And this is where the magic happens. According to Women's Health, the top performing glute programs focus on three key movement patterns: hip extension, hip abduction, and hip thrusts. So some of the foundational exercises would be hip thrusts with a barbell or dumbbells, Romanian deadlifts, Bulgarian split squats, cable kickbacks, lateral band walks, and glute bridges with a pause. Now, progression is key. Increase resistance, reps, or time under tension every 2 to 3 weeks to build muscle. And a pro tip reported in Vogue magazine, there's a growing trend of glute-only training days. So you devote 2 full days a week solely to glute exercises. For example, Monday, maybe you do heavy compound lifts, and Thursday, you just do accessory work and pump sets. Now let's talk collagen. It isn't just a buzzword from your favorite wellness influencer. It's a real structural protein that supports skin elasticity, joint health, and tissue repair. Collagen production naturally declines with age, and intense workouts can place extra stress on tendons and ligaments. Enter the glute diet's not-so-secret ingredient, collagen-rich foods and targeted supplementation. So some sources of collagen would be bone broth, which is slow-simmered broth that contains collagens types 1 and 3, which is great for skin and connective tissue. Marine collagen, which is highly bioavailable, often added to smoothies or teas. Gelatin, which is found in high-quality gummies or added to soups and stews. And vitamin C, essential for collagen synthesis, found in berries, kiwi, citrus, and bell peppers. So according to dermatologists cited in Vogue, pairing collagen with strength training may not only reduce post-workout soreness, but also improve skin tone, especially in areas like thighs and glutes where skin laxity can occur with weight loss or aging. And then the glute diet lifestyle. Let's be real. The glute diet may start with food and fitness, but sticking with it long enough to see results, that's a lifestyle. It means building daily rituals that fuel your strength, support your metabolism, and help you feel energized and confident, not just in your glutes, but in your life. So, diets can often feel restricted, which leads to burnout. A lifestyle approach means you're going to embrace flexibility, enjoy occasional indulgences without feeling guilty. Practice mindfulness. Tune into hunger cues and emotional eating habits. Prepping smart. Batch cooking protein and grains makes clean eating easier during hectic weeks. And making it social. Share meals with friends, host brunches, or swap recipes online. Healthy living doesn't have to be lonely. Movement is considered medicine. Don't just train to build muscle. Move because it feels good. That means adding non-exercise activities like walking, dancing, or stretching, adding in mobility work to prevent injury and improve posture, and have deload weeks or light recovery days to help keep your nervous system balanced. Now, fitness is not punishment. It's a celebration of what your body can do. So you need rest and recovery. So recovery is where growth happens. If you're undersleeping or overstressing, progress stalls, especially when it comes to hormone balance and muscle repair. Lifestyle rituals that support recovery include getting adequate sleep. For most of us, that means 7 to 9 hours of good quality sleep every night. Epsom salt baths or contrast showers post-training. Using foam rollers or massage balls to release tension. And practicing deep breathing or journaling to manage your cortisol levels. Now, let's talk supplements. While whole foods always comes first, some supplements can support this journey. The first being protein powder. Second, collagen peptides paired with vitamin C. The third is creatine monohydrate to boost power and recovery. And the fourth is magnesium glycinate to support sleep and muscle relaxation. But always consult a healthcare provider before starting anything new. Mindset, the most underrated muscle. Set process goals such as train 4 times per week rather than focusing solely on aesthetics. Track your progress holistically. Track your personal records, your energy levels, your sleep, your mood, not just how your jeans fit. Celebrate consistency over perfection. And cultivate gratitude for your body now, even as you work towards achieving your goals. Now, while you're considering all of this information, please remember that one size doesn't fit all. You have to customize this to fit your lifestyle. If there's one truth in fitness, it's that personalization is powerful. The best glute diet is the one you actually stick to, not just for 6 weeks, but as a sustainable, energizing part of your life. And so, for example, if you are a vegan or a vegetarian, you're plant-based, you don't need meat to build glutes. You just need complete proteins and smart nutrient pairings. So mix your legumes and grains like lentils and rice to hit all your essential amino acids. Lean into high protein options such as tempeh, tofu, edamame, and seitan. Maybe supplement with B12 and possibly creatine, which may be lower in plant-based diets. Use vegan collagen boosters like silica-rich foods, cucumbers, oats, and vitamin C. For the women in perimenopause or menopause, hormonal shifts can affect muscle retention, fat storage, and energy, but they're not deal breakers. They just require tips. So try these tweaks. Prioritize protein at every meal to combat muscle loss. Add flaxseed or soy for phytoestrogens. Include magnesium-rich foods, leafy greens, pumpkin seeds to support sleep and reduce inflammation. And include low-impact strength training to reduce cortisol and preserve joints. Now, how about it for busy people? No time, no problem. Just you need simplicity and efficiency. So try batch cooking things such as proteins, grains, and roasted veggies once per week. Keep your snacks simple, maybe hard-boiled eggs, protein bars, or hummus and carrots. Try movement snacks or exercise snacks, which I discussed in an earlier podcast episode. 10-minute mini breaks spread throughout the day. Use resistance bands at home or travel for quick glute activation. And how about those of you recovering from injury? Well, when movement is limited, nutrition becomes even more essential. So some of the tips are to focus on anti-inflammatory foods such as turmeric, fatty fish, and berries. Stay hydrated to support tissue healing. Use isometric and body weight glute exercises with physio guidance, of course, to maintain connection. And increase collagen-rich foods and consider vitamin D if mobility is limited. Now, for those of us 40 and over, age brings wisdom and often new fitness goals that prioritize function over aesthetics. So some tips are to lift heavy but with good form. You still build muscle past 40, especially with adequate protein. Watch for creeping insulin resistance and favor complex carbs and fiber. Prioritize sleep and joint health with magnesium, collagen, and omega-3s, and add mobility and fascia work, such as foam rolling, yoga, and Pilates. So what started out as a catchy phrase, the glute diet, turned out to be much more than a viral fitness trend. It's a holistic approach that blends smart nutrition, strategic strength training, and mindful self-care to support not just a sculpted backside, but a stronger, more energized you. So we've talked about nutrition, how it powers progress, not just with protein, but with the right balance of carbs, fats, and collagen-boosting micronutrients. Training. It matters, specifically progressive overload and glute-specific movement patterns to actually build muscle and shape. Your mindset and lifestyle are non-negotiables, from recovery routines and hydration to honoring individuality and adapting the plan to the season of your life. Customization makes this sustainable, whether you're vegan, menopausal, busy, or just bouncing back from injury. It can work for you. And finally, consistency is better than perfection because real results come from showing up for yourself again and again. Now, the glute diet isn't about perfection, punishment, or chasing someone else's idea of beauty. It's a celebration of strength, vitality, and the joy of movement. It's about fueling your body, lifting heavy in the gym and in life, and looking in the mirror with pride. Not just for the shape you've sculpted, but for the resilience and effort that got you there. You got the tools, the plan, and the mindset. Now it's just one rep, one meal, one empowered choice at a time. So let's basically call it what it really is. It's a lifestyle that lifts. So what do I personally think about the glute diet? Well, as I told you at the beginning, I was a little confused because I know for sure that any specific diet cannot change one specific body part. But if you incorporate the diet and then you add in your resistance training, I do believe that this would be a healthy way to affect the health of your entire body. So give it a try, and if you do, let me know how it goes. Thanks for listening. This is Dodie from Deliberate Aging. Until next time, be well, friends. This podcast is presented solely for informational and educational purposes only. Use of information from this podcast is at the user's own risk. It is not intended as a substitute for the advice of your physician or other qualified professional. We are not responsible for any losses, damages, or liabilities that may arise from use of this podcast.